here on the 26th of Tammuz, the Hilula of a famous Yemenite rabbi, Rabbi Shalom Yitzchak Halevi, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, one of the great rabbis of his time. I believe he was born in the English year 1890, and he passed away, I believe, on the 26th of July in the year 1973. We're talking about 52 years ago. He was a chief rabbi, I think, of the Timani, the Yemenite Jewish community in Tel Aviv, and would take on various different important roles, just say in Israel. He was a president for the Religious Council for Yemenite Jews. In his time, he was a judge, Dayanim in Tel Aviv Rabbinical Court, and a member of the Council of the Chief Rabbinate of Israel. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life now. Very interesting. He was born in an area called Sana'a in Teiman, in Yemen, a place we've spoken about on various occasions before. I believe he actually happened to be, I think, the oldest son of another great rabbi we've spoken about before, Rabbi Yitzchak Halevi, which we recorded in the video. He himself happened to be the chief rabbi of Teiman. Rabbi Yechia was, I think he passed away himself in the year 1932. He was a head of Jewish court also, I think, for as many as 30 years until he passed away, and recommend everyone to watch that video I did of Rabbi Yechia, his father. And so it's incredible. He would receive rabbinic ordination and Dayanut ordination also with, I believe, other great rabbis of that time. I think in Teiman, this would have been in Yemen, he would have got those accolades. It was, and I think with he would also help his father-in-law in, I think, a sewing or fabric businesses, and they would actually produce clothes for the royal family of Yemen, it is reported over. Now, I think it was around the time period of 1923-ish, where he would make Aliyah and move to Jerusalem. They would settle there. Come with the year 1925, he was appointed the chief rabbi of Yemenite Jews in Tel Aviv. He was also the rabbi of a neighborhood in the city and a member of the rabbinical council there. So he was taking on various different prominent positions all throughout. I think, especially, come with the year 1961, he would return to Jerusalem after there, and recently passed away in the year 1973. I'm probably doing various different workings at that point in time. I think he would work as part of the Chaver Moatzot Rabbanot Reshit in the year 1956, part of the rabbinical community over there. It's reported that he would have 10 children. Now, I think one of them happened to be another great rabbi, someone named Rabbi Chaim Moshe Halevi, who would become one of the managers or the heads of the Yeshivat Ramat Gan. Now, he himself passed away on 26th of July, 1973. Let's explore some of the workings he did, because he really did a lot of public activities. He would found various different Torah organizations, I think especially the Chivrat Torah Or, which was really a foundation that would help, let's say, youth learn more Torah through the Timani, the Yemenite sources, Yemenite traditions, respectively. He would help with in regards to other foundations, which had significant importances for the community in of itself. An institution for people that were not feeling well, suffered from sickness, and mothers. And he would found an educational frameworks for the elderly. He would organize gatherings of Yemenite rabbis to promote community affairs and, let's say, to strengthen and preserve Yemenite tradition. His leadership was natural. He had natural leadership over there, and he really would try to embrace all the different Yemenite rabbis, whichever caliber they were in, to come to these gatherings, and was very, very much a people's person. Now, it's actually interesting. We must have to point out also, he was part of the Torah Avodah, I think, network over there, I think, and also the Po'ol Mizrahi. This was various different undertakings, the Po'ol Mizrahi movement, and I think at that point in time there was a famous, I think in 1944, there was some sort of like discussion between the center of the Yemenite Association and the Histadrut within regards to potential cooperation between two organizations, as they would, let's just say, bring about the Yemenite immigrants at that point in time. However, the rabbi was worried that the Histadrut on the education of immigrants could really be disruptive, and I think it did that at the end, as we've heard many of the stories. And I think especially he was in, let's just say, communication with another famous rabbi, Rabbi Yeshayahu Meshorer, who would later on become the head of Jewish court in Petach Tikva and part of the rabbinic council. I think who was the first rabbi, also Machane Yehuda, and like they were making warnings, I think, within regards to the potential let's just say, connection with his Stadrut activists, that people would be careful at that point in time. Now, it's interesting. I think the rabbi would actually visit the various different immigration camps and would actually work with in regards to heeding and listening to complaints, and would try and change the situation in various ways. It's reported over, issued an important letter on behalf of the Religious Council for Yemenite Jews to David Ben-Gurion, for example, regarding the religious and educational situation of Yemenite immigrants. He was very worried that it will dwindle or will take a step back, so he really tried to strengthen it. Now, many of the copies of his letters were sent to Chief Rabbinate of Israel, Department of Aliyah, Department of Labor, Office of Supervision of the Jewish Agency, National Committee, and in a nutshell, this says a religious and educational situation in the Yemenite immigrant camps is broken and demands immediate correction. He wants to strengthen the Torah over here. We do not wish to give detailed description here because the situation in general is well known, and the cases in Pardesan and Kiryat Shmuel are enough to shake the soul to its core. So he's very, very much worried about it. And it's absolutely impossible to allow the guidance of this community, that its entire Torah and mitzvot observance be handed to the other people's hands over here, such as Stadrut, so on and so forth. So it was a big, big worry at that point in time, and he strongly highlighted, what could actually happen to the Yemenite community over there. So the letter goes on. I recommend everyone to look at it online. So he was very worried about the poor spiritual state. I think the community in Israel had fallen as the peak came in, and he would try and change the situation. He would bring about lectures, advocacy, education, and influence. But it really, really did pain him. And I think there was also issues where some of the community rabbis were not recognized as part of the rabbinical establishment. So you could say that there was a hint of racism in this or not. I think come the year 1945, there was a gathering in Petah Tikva, and they say that the importance of the Yemenite rabbis were brilliant rabbis. They should also be recognized as rabbinate, especially when it comes to doing marriages under the chuppah. And I think the constitution of the chief rabbinate of Israel stated at that point in time, someone who has not yet served in a rabbinical position for 10 years cannot be elected a member of the chief rabbinate of Israel. I don't know if that was their answer or not, but that's seemingly how they would respond at that stage in time. So it's reported over. And for this reason, there is no Yemenite member of the chief rabbinate of Israel. I think he would have a gathering at that stage in time. He advocated for the importance of establishing a yeshiva, and how we need dayanim, educators, and establish a place where rabbis can thrive and to work in of itself. Now, I think Rabbi Shalom Yitzchak Halevi determined immediately after the declaration of the state on the Independence Day should be celebrated every year with a recitation of Hallel. And let's just say, as a chief rabbi of Yemen, he sent a ruling to all the Yemenite synagogues instructing them to celebrate this day of Yom HaAtzmaut. And I think at this stage in time, when he actually requested it, they didn't officially, institute this at that point in time. It was only about 2 years afterwards. I think when he was given an order, was given to the Council of Chief Rabbinate to celebrate Independence Day every year with recitation of Hallel. In a letter to, I think there was Rabbi Reuben Nadaf, I think he would correspond with in regards to this, but he would illustrate the importance of this miracle and how great and immense actually it was, about all the things that actually occurred at the time period of Yom HaAtzmaut, of Independence War, respectively. I think he wrote a letter to Rabbi Reuben Nadaf within regards to this also. Okay, his books, I think he would write Torah, different colossal works, and let's explore some of them. I think many of these books or writings he would write would concentrate on Yemenite customs and strengthening pronunciation tradition of Yemenite Jews. And one of the books writings was called Divrei Chachamim. This was a Shelot Shuvot book, which was, I think, printed in 1972. Then Divrei Shalom, this was printed in 1970. Perush al-Chelek HaDiktuk LeMaaritz. Maaritz came out in Jerusalem, actually. And I think Shishah Sidrei Mishnah will do a book on that, if I'm not mistaken. This publication will actually come out through Yosef. I think his last name was Hasid. Very interesting. A few more of the, let's just say, highlights in regards to his life. you could see he had a very decorated life, let's just say, in of itself. Let's look at a few of the highlights from his book, from the great rabbi, and we'll call it a day. Okay, so from the Torah work, Divrei Chachamim, which is printed in 1972 in Jerusalem, it says, Melamed, Shemitchak Deka Ha'achava, Kisho'al Mitoch Yedidot, Mashib Ratzon Tov. Melamed, Shishno Kibbutz Mada, Mukhiyavim Lelechet Minhag Avotam. It's another one from the Divrei Chachamim book. Melamed, Shahadiotot Machakim Acherim, Mitoch Lezulzul Minhag Avotam. It's another one of his teaching, a final teaching to look at. Mora Alakiem Teges Hatzulcha Mishum Ashchanat Shalom. Now this comes from, once again, I think the Divrei Chachamim book from Siman Dalet, if I'm not mistaken, in the Yoredeya part of the book. So I recommend everyone to look into these books and learn more about this great rabbi. He was a great rabbi at the time. We've spoken about his family. It was a rabbinic dynasty. You could say he was a head Yemenite rabbi in his time in Eretz Yisrael, taking on various different important roles, and recommend everyone to learn more about those great rabbis. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the great chachamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information on the great chachamim. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe now. We're nearing a staggering 7,000 subscribers. Now, if you feel anyone is interested in watching these videos, please share these videos to other people also and help the community grow. We're not just on this channel recording videos of great rabbis. We are recording about different tours all over Israel. We like to tour around. That's one thing we're trying to do. We are also recording with an interesting personality every day. Great rabbi of yesteryear. We're trying to we're trying to record with different Jewish personalities, different great rabbis that are around in Eretz Yisrael and all over the globe. Thank God we've recorded with more than 500 great personalities already, and I recommend everyone to look at that part of the series over here. We will do videos on Parshat Shvuah. Another exciting thing we are doing is a Daf Yomi tidbit every single day. This Daf Yomi tidbit consists of maybe 2-3 minutes, but of real Talmudic wisdom on current events, and coming it in and making it very user-friendly for people to watch nowadays. Now, friends, we spoke about Temani rabbi, Yemenite rabbi. We've already covered in this series maybe about 50 rabbis, as many as 50 rabbis from Yemen, which is very, very exciting. So please recommend everyone to watch, learn, and be inspired, and wishing all well. Thanks very much, and wishing you Shavuot Tov and Barach, and great times, and take care. Thank you very much, everyone.